Hey guys, real quick before we start the video, I'm working on a top 10 list of the best new Cars diecast of 2024, as chosen by my viewers. So, if you're interested and would like to vote, please click the link in the description and vote for who you think the best new release of the year was. Now on to the video. I absolutely love making episodes of weird products, getting to take a look at some of the strangest official Cars merchandise out there. It's always so funny to see what weird choices are made on official Cars toys, but knockoff merchandise, well, that's a whole nother story. If you think that regular weird products are strange, imagine what a Cars item would look like if you legally didn't have the rights to Cars. Yeah, it gets a little crazy around here. Hello everybody, and welcome back to Weird Disney Cars Knockoff Products. This is my 4th episode of Weird Products covering knockoff toys. It's been quite a while since I've done one of these. I wasn't really sure for a while if I wanted to do a 4th one. I thought I was fine with just 3, but I've been working on a lot of bigger video projects recently, and I thought it would be fun to kind of take a break from those and just make fun of some Cars bootlegs. So, let's get started. The first item I want to talk about today is one that I found on AliExpress, and honestly, it's rather convincing until you look closer. For starters, the box design is pretty solid. As somebody who knows Cars merchandise very well, I know that it's not an official piece of Cars merchandise, but it does follow a lot of the typical design aesthetics that you might see on Cars products, especially those from around the time Cars 3 came out. But as I said before, when you look closer, the cracks start to show. For example, as per usual, since they can't use a Disney Pixar logo, they replace it with something else. Alloy series. I assume this is them claiming that the Mcqueen is made of a metal alloy. After all, the tagline is, alloy back to the car toy. Eminem's been real quiet since that one dropped. Replacing the Disney Pixar logo with something that describes the toy's material is just really funny to me. But I find it so strange that these knockoff toys always put something in place of the Disney Pixar logo. Obviously, they can't use it for legal reasons, but they always put other words there instead of just removing it. It feels like they know people are going to think this is a knockoff when they see it and will try to look for the Disney logo, so they put something in its place. But they don't expect you to look at it for more than a second, or else you'll realize that it's not from Disney Pixar, it's from Alloy series, and then their entire operation is blown. Feels like self-sabotage to me. Just like the box, the Mcqueen itself is honestly pretty good until you look closer. Obviously, the most apparently weird thing about this Mcqueen is the roof rack and the tire. That's just not supposed to be there. I don't know why that's there. But if you ignore that, and you look at this Mcqueen without looking at the roof rack, it's honestly pretty good for a bootleg Mcqueen. He even has Lightyear tires. Granted, they made Lightyear 2 words instead of 1, but you know what? That's better than most. But you know what word they didn't get right? Rusties. They never use the word rusties on these toys. It must be another legal thing. Almost always, it's replaced with the word racing. But this one doesn't just say racing. No, this one goes above and beyond and says, racing interesting. Modern happy time. I had to record that 3 different times because I could not stop laughing. That's the best thing I've heard all week. Oh, and his Piston Cup logo says racing game instead. I guess if you think about it, the Piston Cup is just one big racing game. My personal favorite type of Cars knockoff toy are these big die-cast multi-packs. They feature so many different characters, and it's so funny to see them try to replicate each Cars character. Sometimes they do pretty well, and then sometimes you get sheer insanity. This specific pack is being resold by someone on Facebook Marketplace from Australia. And just in case you needed confirmation that they're from Australia, they took a picture of this next to a box of Australian full cream milk. Obviously, this was done for scale, but it's nice to have that confirmation. We'll get to the diecast in just a minute, but I want to talk about the box, which is easily my favorite part of this item. It has a lot of the typical design elements we often see on these things. It uses a Cars 2 style card back with the carbon fiber detailing and the stolen Porto Corsa background. It's from the hit film Super Racing Race 3. We've all seen that one. That's the one with the racing game. And for some reason, it features the logo of the Cars 3 video game Driven to Win. For some reason, this logo is used really frequently on bootleg Cars toys, and I don't get why, but I trust them. After all, this is the best gift for children. But easily my favorite thing here is something that I've never seen on any of these other knockoff toys. They took the RSN logo and replaced it to say hot. It's so funny to me that they were like, you know what, we need a buzzword on the box. We need to show everyone it's a hot product. And instead of just writing hot, they stole another Cars logo and made it say that. You know what? As payback for this, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to take a product with the word hot in it and replace that with the RSN logo. What was the point of this again? I'd assume these same logos always being used is because these knockoffs are made by the same few companies. After all, a lot of these diecasts and these multi-packs are reused. That Jeff Corvette is identical to one we've seen in the past episode. We've seen this Mini Cooper before in a few different colors and a few different packs over the course of this series. Strangely, it doesn't seem to be based on any particular Cars character when all the other diecasts are. Other than that, we have some okay-looking main characters. Jackson Storm's color scheme is quite off. It honestly reminds me of the really bad Jackson Storm that LEGO made in 2017. There's Finn McMissile, who looks weirdly squished, like out of scale compared to the other characters. Holly looks fine from what we could see of her. She's pretty much covered by Mcqueen. Fillmore, hilariously, has the word peace that's written on his side, written huge on his roof, and he also has the Team 95 sticker from Cars 2 for some reason. Mcqueen and Carla are both fine. They have those bootleg World Grand Prix logos we've talked about before. Then we have this car, who I thought might be Lieutenant Lightning McQueen from Mater Private Eye, but I think it might just be Sheriff. What do you see in this image? The top half of a Mater toy. For the record, it is a bootleg toy. And you might be wondering, why am I not showing the rest of it? Well, that's because the rest of it is the absolute definition of overkill. Cars monster truck knockoff toys are very common, but this Mater has to have the most ridiculous size difference between the car and the monster truck base that I've ever seen. Mater looks so tiny compared to the wheels. This is what Mater would look like on car steroids. They also have a monster truck Cruise, and she looks like she's seen some stuff, man. Is she okay? In the first episode of Weird Knockoffs, we talked about this Lightning McQueen Transformer. Transformers Lightning McQueens are a surprisingly common bootleg Cars toy. And while this one featured an edited image of Optimus Prime as Lightning McQueen, the one I want to talk about today features Bumblebee instead. From Racer 3, it's 95 Mech Mode Deformations Rotobot Top. You guys couldn't even spell robot right, that's just embarrassing. I also absolutely love that the age rating and the fact that this has lights and sounds is combined into the same section, so it says 3+-year-old sound and light. It just makes it sound like there's been sound and light in there for 3 or more years. But hey, look, it's the actual Rust-eze logo, so that's gotta count for something, right? The toy itself looks pretty iffy. Look, I'm not a big Transformers fan, but the face does look enough like Bumblebee to me. I wouldn't be surprised if it's actually another character, though, and they stole it. Speaking of which, the edited image of Bumblebee as Lightning McQueen at the bottom of the box is honestly incredibly impressive, and I would also not be surprised if it's just stolen fan art. This is apparently what it looks like in vehicle mode, although this image is obviously a render compared to the actual photo of the toy that the robot mode appears to be. While most of these bootleg Transformers use the regular robot heads, one knockoff had the guts to give their Lightning McQueen Transformer Lightning McQueen's face. This right here, people. Take it in. Take it in. I know. Humanity has peaked here. Racing Car Super Robot claims to have 3-in-1 action, which is strange because Like, what's the third form? There's McQueen. There's it transformed into a robot. What's the third one? Also, why does it include small versions of McQueen and Mater? I've seen bootlegs do this all the time, where they just throw in random additional items. I'd assume that's why McQueen and Mater are here. I assume they also don't transform, because, I mean, look at them. They just look like regular bootleg Cars toys. McQueen is number 85, which is pretty funny. But as I said before, this item is advertised as a 3-in-1, and I'm starting to wonder if by that they don't mean that the robot can turn into 3 things, and they just mean that it includes 3 items. That would be insanely stupid, but I wouldn't put it past these people. Look at what they made. Actually, if you look very closely, you can tell that they just repainted the head of a Transformer, once again looks like a movie Bumblebee, and gave it the McQueen eyes. But whatever you do, don't insult this thing too much. I hear it wants to fight. You know what else is super popular? Haulers. Like this one of Gail Buford, where you drive over her eyes. I'm sure that doesn't hurt at all, and I'm positive it won't obstruct her driving. I would assume this folds back up into the hauler when you're not driving. If not, then I'm sorry, Gail. I'm very sorry. I would tell you more about this item, but the only pictures I could find for it online are incredibly warped and distorted. And as funny as that makes the pictures look, there's really not all that much I can say. So how about we look at this Mac? Hey, wait a minute, that's not Mac, that's just Gail Buford again! There is something so inherently funny to me about taking a Gail Buford and turning her into Mac. It shows you how reused and recycled all these knockoff items are. They couldn't even make a Mac, and that's really funny to me. And while it looks really ridiculous to have Gail Buford designed like a Rusty's hauler, the more I look at it, the more I kind of like this design. Like, am I crazy? Or does this actually kind of work? If you ever wanted to see a next-gen Rusty's hauler, here you go. It's just within the realm of knockoffs. Alright, so far we've looked at knockoff RC cars, diecasts, monster trucks, transformers, haulers. What's left? Oh right, nightmare fuel! Lightning McQueen has arms. Lightning McQueen has arms. Lightning McQueen has arms! They gave him arms. They gave him big, goofy Mickey Mouse gloves. He's doing peace signs with both of his hands. He has a cowboy hat. I am at a complete loss for words. I genuinely don't know what to say. So instead, I'll show you something. Because it turns out that this car has lights and sounds and dances to the Levin polka. And you know what? If all of that still isn't good enough for you, then don't worry, because you could get one themed to Despicable Me 2. And there you have it, guys. Another look at the strangest Cars knockoff toys that the internet has to offer. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm very excited to bring back this series, and I hope to get another one out soon. Thank you all for standing by and waiting so patiently for this new episode of Weird Cars Knockoff Products. I'm very excited for some future episodes. Doing this has really reignited my love for looking at insane knockoff toys. So, thank you all so much for watching once again, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.